Day 3 of the 2024 NFL Combine is in the books, and it will be one to remember as well, as Texas wide receiver Xavier Worthy has the new 40-yard dash record, a 4.21 40-yard dash, an unbelievable time. He beats John Ross as the previous holder, and Chris Johnson, with my conspiracy theory that Chris Johnson was still faster, is now irrelevant at this stage. Let's show Xavier Worthy some love for the unbelievable 40-yard dash time. Everyone spam X in the comment section for the new record holder. And yeah, I think he's going to go first. He's been in a bunch of first-round mocks already. I don't think that's going to change. Getting to above receiver 4, though, as we'll get into, won't be that easy. How about go to his teammate, Adonai Mitchell, same name. He was awesome. Again, some of the finalized splits are not done yet. None of the agility drills were posted as of filming. At 6'2", 205, Mitchell ran a 4.34 with an awesome vert, awesome broad, 9.98 on the Math Bomb relative athletic scores. Factors in height, weight, speed, positional references as well, because O-line and receivers are very different, of course. It's elite testing from A.D. Mitchell. I still wouldn't be surprised if he went before Xavier Worthy, by the way. Let's go to the number 4 receiver in this year's class. That's Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. Now, the 6'4", 210 listed stuff wasn't the end result. He's just a shade under 6'3", is 209. By the way, again, a lot of these are the unofficial times, because as we got these pulled from Math Bomb, we tweeted them out. Didn't have the full formal times on there. Actually, 4.3340 at 40 pounds heavier than Xavier Worthy. No disrespect to Xavier Worthy at all. Don't sleep on Brian Thomas Jr. It's an unbelievable performance from both Mitchell and Thomas. Don't sleep on those guys. This receiver class, as we'll get into, is stupid freaky. Let's go to Ladd McConkey here, out of Georgia. Player I like quite a bit. My buddy had comped him to Brandon Cooks. And that one seems pretty damn accurate right now with a sub 4.4 40-yard dash, solid vert, solid broad. If you were comping him to guys like Wes Welker and Julian Edelman, I can't quite figure out why you were saying that. Emphasis on the QWH there. Come on. He's a great athlete. This is another potential first-round pick at wide receiver, at least a top 50 football player. Great athlete, not just that shifty slot receiver stereotype. With the big guys not running, doing anything, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, was top receiver out there. As we were filming this, you kind of saw the news of him still trying to get that 3-cone down perfectly, which I respect him doing. By the way, official 40 time actually was a 4.45 at almost 6'3", 212. In most receiver classes, he'd be receiver 1. He might be a receiver 3 off the board this year. You want a big body X receiver? Here you go. In another loaded wide receiver draft class, how many receivers end up going in round 1? Is it 5, 6, 7, 8? It's a great class. It's the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Go to Xavier Legette here, the South Carolina wide receiver. I spelled his name wrong. That's okay. It's 1 G and an E at the end. It's not a big deal. Here it is with the correct spelling, by the way. There had been some concerns of how good of an athlete he was. Survey says great. Sub 4.40 at 221 is elite testing there for Xavier Legette. I think second-round caliber player, certainly someone to monitor moving forward if you weren't already. Let's get some running backs up in here. Trey Benson, if you didn't have him as RB1 like I did, I think maybe now you're kind of feeling pretty good about that one. The vert held him back, didn't have a very good vert, 33.5 inches, which is great for a regular person, not so much for an NFL running back. How about a sub 4.4 at 218? Unbelievable. I still don't think he goes in round 1. The value of running backs has changed. The overall plays that never been a 1,000-yard rusher still. That should be factored in here. But maybe in that Breece Hall range, early round 2, mid-round 2, makes a lot of sense. He should be the first back taken. Go to Tennessee. Sorry, producer Chris. Jalen Wright, who I think is maybe even a faster player than he did testing-wise. Also got the sub 4.4 numbers. You can tell here, by the way, the 10-yard split was okay, but it wasn't as good as I thought it could have been. Good vert. Again, 200-plus pound back with explosive ability. Those guys tend to go pretty early. Let's go to Devontae Walker out of North Carolina. I don't value the drills as much unless something's really startlingly bad, but Tez Walker held on during the gauntlet, which he had some drop issues previously. I think that's a good sign. Plus a 4.36 40-yard dash. Great vert, great broad. It never tires me, or I never get tired of it. How awesome these receiver athletes are. Just makes things entertaining for me. It's always find ways to get good ones. Now, today's show, as it has been all week long for NFL Combine coverage, is made possible by Game Time. You're trying to buy tickets to your next big event. Maybe it's a concert. Maybe it's a theater showing. Maybe it's a sporting event. Baseball, basketball. Baseball's back. Hockey. Game Time has you covered. Get $20 off when you use code NFLCHAT. That's NFLCHAT over at GameTime.co once you create your account, whether it's baseball, hockey, basketball, or maybe something for your wife or girlfriend or whatever if they're not into sports. Game Time has you covered. Create your account. Click the bottom right of your app. You see that profile down there? Click it. You'll then see redeem code as an option. Click that one and type in NFL CHAT for $20 off your first purchase. That link is in the comment section and the description of today's show. We appreciate Game Time sponsoring us here at NFL Daily. Ricky Pearsall, next up, the wide receiver out of Florida. I know I'm repeating myself. Oh, look, a great athlete. So all these guys are just stupid, gifted athletes. 4.41 40-yard dash time, which there were 9 guys who ran sub 4.4 this year at wide receiver. It's an unbelievable number. Truly is. All right, a player I have not gotten to. That happens every year. I don't get to 350 players with a combine. That's just not possible for me in terms of what I'm able to do. Bub Means out of Pitts. How about a 4.43 at 212 at 6'1 with a really good vert? I didn't do much work on him. I'm intrigued, though. Going to make sure I get to him before the draft arrives. Jermaine Burton, producer Chris's guy, out of Alabama. I call him Streak because that's his best route, and he's a streaky football player. But he tested pretty great. 6 1/4, just under 200 pounds. Nice vert, nice broad. A 4.45 seems slow compared to all these dudes, but that's a really good 40-yard dash time. Make no mistake about it. If you guys have enjoyed our NFL Combine coverage this week, the green screen's finally back up and running here for us here at Chat Sports. Sub right now. We'll do offensive line, winners and losers tomorrow, and a total recap on Monday with some different hosts involved there. Hit that sub button for me right now. Cornelius Johnson out of Michigan. I will make note, Roman Wilson ran a sub 4.4, but didn't do the testing to get the RAS, so I want to focus on a gifted athlete. I know, we're talking 99th percentile, you know. Cornelius Johnson, 6'2 3/4, 212. 4.44 at that size is awesome. 37.5-inch vert. Hands aren't the biggest, but in a Michigan offense that didn't throw the ball that much, somebody to keep an eye out for. Isaac, I believe it's pronounced Girundo. I might have got that wrong. I'm sorry if I did, Isaac. Was the best testing running back of anybody, and in fact, the best tester among this group. 9.99 is unofficial. 221, and you're hitting 4.33. That is unbelievable. We're talking a nearly 60-pound difference between him and Xavier Worthy, and he ran a 1/10 of a second slower almost. And a 41.5-inch vert, by the way. Legitimately one of the most athletic human beings you will ever meet in your entire life. And athletes matter for the NFL, by the way. Go figure. Who is the single biggest NFL Combine winner from day 3? I think by definition it has to be Xavier Worthy because he set the damn record. But there are other names you can maybe mention multiple. Sound off in the comments section. All right, day 3 losers. Pretty much all the quarterbacks, honestly. They didn't test. They didn't run. There were 4 guys that ran. Keaton Slovis ran well, but he's not that good of a football player. And in general, when it comes to the quarterback throwing drills, I know some people care. I don't. That they're throwing against air in shorts. Unless it's really, really bad, I don't care how they look. Yeah, J.J. McCarthy missed some throws left. That's on film. We kind of already knew that. He's not a great outside left deep thrower. He's had issues there with accuracy. Michael Penix is a large human being. We kind of knew that already. Plus, does arm length really matter for quarterbacks? He has a very good arm. We knew that already. Bo Nix is generally accurate. We knew that. Daniels wasn't there. I'm a little bit worried about Daniels not weighing in, but whatever. Caleb Williams is going to number 1 overall. Drake May's a stud. Sam Hartman is not a very good quarterback. Joe Milton has a rocket for an arm. It's an unguided missile. You have no idea where it's going to go. There should really be no changes in your quarterback thoughts. I really don't think so. If you liked the guy beforehand, continue to like them. If you didn't like them beforehand, nothing that they did should have changed your mind, frankly. It's all available on the film. The stuff that really matters is how they met with the coaches, the medicals, which we'll get leaks about, but you're only going to hear the positive ones. Like, I'm telling you, I know that the report says, Penix medicals came back great. Who leaked that? Penix's team. Happens every time. Every year we get those reports of, the medicals turned out great. I hope they turned out great, but they're not going to turn out great for every team because there is no such thing as a consensus. It's how Latu got cleared by one school and not the other. It happens. I hope Penix, by the way, I think on Penix, I think he's better than Bo Nix still. I think if he were playing 20 years ago, he'd been a top 3 pick. I just worry about the mobility in the pocket. Go to Keon Coleman. With all these receivers running stupid 40-yard dash times at 6'3", 213, 4.61 for Keon Coleman is not very good. The speed and separation concerns have not been beaten. But with his vertical ability as a former basketball player, go figure, right? Played at Michigan State, by the way, and that's Tom Izzo's program. Still tested well relative to his size. It's just at a certain point that 40-yard dash, there's a cutoff. Like, you have to be a certain amount of speed and separator. With all these other guys, his stock's going to drop. Maybe not even at a round 1, but just that 40-yard dash when you're running 0.2 of a second slower than these other guys, that's a lot. That is a lot. Speaking of slow 40s, Estime at a Notre Dame did not have a good 40-yard dash. He's a big boy, 221, good at explosive abilities, 4.7, 140. That's slow, man. And like his 10-yard split was pretty solid, and Keon Coleman's 10-yard split was pretty decent too. Just probably not long speed guys, but that's slow, man. Again, he didn't beat the allegations of being a slow plotter. Happened again. Biggest NFL Combine loser from day 3, by the way. Still want those dudes on my team, just maybe not quite as high previously. Sound off in the comments. Bucky Irving, next up here out of Oregon. And this is probably a pretty great answer for the biggest loser. This is bad. That is bad athletic ability. 5'9", 192, so he's not that big. Stubby arms, by the way. Bad vert, bad broad. 40-yard dash was okay. 10-yard split was really good, which does give me some positive things to look forward to, but that's just not good. Sorry. In life, there are losers. Deal with it, folks. Dylan Johnson, next up here out of Washington. He's kind of still recovering from an injury, so I'm not going to ding him as much as maybe others could be dinged, or ding him even. Just under 6 foot, 217, 468. In general, and this is a personal thing, so not everyone has to agree with me, I want some juice at the running back spot. I want explosive plays. I worry about Irving and Johnson and Estime offering. Irving a little bit more so, but Johnson and Estime offering that. Finally, injuries are revealed sometimes. Anais Smith out of Texas A&M has a stress fracture in his shin. He has to go see a specialist. TBD on the timeline to recover from that. He would have probably been a pretty decent tester too. It's unfortunate to have to. It's good to catch it because it could become worse if you don't catch it. But that is an unfortunate development for Anais Smith.